Hi there, and welcome to this video, which is all about what to do when you get stuck in the cycle of overthinking. And if you are brand new, my name is Nicola. I'm a yoga teacher, a yoga therapist, and also I'm highly sensitive and neurodivergent too. And so one of the things that's prompted me to do this video really is from my own experience, which I will speak to now. And if you're like me and have experienced anxiety and you have a very busy mind or struggle with overthinking, then you know that there'll be times when that can really take over and it can really have a negative impact on your health as well, and really contribute to those feelings of anxiety. And if you are highly sensitive or neurodivergent like me, you know, our brains are predisposed, if you like, to overthink because we're wired to not only take in more information to think about in the first place, but we also process things in a different way at a much deeper level. So it can kind of set us up for overthinking, especially in the world that we're in this kind of modern world where there's information all the time being thrown at us, where we're probably expected to do a little bit too much. And yeah, we feel we've got to keep up with that kind of fast-paced life. Now, at the time of filming, we're moving into September. This is a time of the year, really, when overthinking tends to increase again because, you know, it's that back to school vibe. Our to-do lists get long. And so this is another reason for doing this video now. And I guess, really, I just wanted to share some of the things that I've been working on recently, although probably for many years before that. But I feel like I've come to a place where I've had a bit of an aha moment with overthinking patterns, so I wanted to share them. So what to do then when you're stuck in an overthinking mode? I guess the first thing really is just to become aware, to step back and go, oh, crikey, I've gotten stuck in a loop again. That can be a really hard step in and of itself. And really for me, that step has come through practicing things like yoga and meditation, because when you practice things like that, you are developing that part of your brain that's able to kind of become aware of itself, if you like. So number one, just start to become aware when you're getting into overthinking. The second thing, and I think this is probably one of the shifts that I've had, is to accept, oh, I'm in overthinking, I'm going to accept it. Because if we don't accept it and we beat ourselves up about it and we get really frustrated that our minds are just going on and on and on, then we kind of create this kind of like fight mentality, or this fight feeling in our bodies. And one of the most important things that I have been working on in the last, I guess, first part of this year, is when we accept something about ourselves, even if it's uncomfortable and we don't like it, we just soften around it. And then that makes it more accessible to helping whatever it is. Really, acceptance is like the path to compassion, which I'll talk about a little bit later on. So we're becoming aware of overthinking. We're going to accept that this is what is happening, even though we want something different. We've got to accept it first. And then the next step for me and for many people that I work with is to get into your body. What do I mean by get into your body? It's such a yogi phrase, I think. So if you're not a yogi, let me break it down. Getting into your body, I am aware we're already in our body, just means getting out of the thinking mind and into being aware of feeling your body in space. And I think the best way to do that is probably a movement practice where you're being guided, such as yoga. It doesn't have to be yoga, but it could be. I personally really advocate any kind of mindful movement practice. Not that other exercise and other movement isn't great. They are. But when we have a mindful movement practice, our awareness is being drawn to notice how our bodies feel as we move through the movement. And that is the key to getting out of here, because it brings your attention, which has been looping on the, oh, I've got to take the dog to the vets or whatever it is. I haven't got to take the dog to the vets, although she has got an appointment coming up. It brings it from that to, oh, my shoulder feels like it's having a stretch when I do this movement. Or I don't know why I'm doing strange movements, but you know what I mean. It gets it out of that. And there's lots of neuroscience as to why this is beneficial for our brains. It kind of gets us out of, I think, what's called the default mode network, and it brings us into different parts of the brain. So it gives the monkey mind a break, which I think then allows us a little window to then become aware, going back to step one, to practice becoming aware of our tendencies, our patterns, etc. It might be, if you are really in it and things are going round and round and round and round, you might benefit from a very obvious technique of just writing it down. Blank piece of paper, write everything down. Doesn't need to make coherent sense. They don't need to be sentences. They could be words, pictures, whatever. Get it out of your head. And once you've done that, then that might be a window to come and do some mindful movement. This then brings me to a practice of mindfulness in itself. So a sitting practice of mindfulness, i.e. a meditation practice. I know there's loads of people that talk about the benefits of mindfulness. For me, I find it really hard to put into words how important a practice of mindfulness is to everybody's well-being, regardless of how you're wired, whether you're neurodivergent or neurotypical, extra sensitive or not, because the benefits just ripple out into so many areas. But a practice of mindfulness will help with those other steps that I mentioned, because the more you practice it, it's like a muscle, like anything else. If you go to the gym and you want rock hard abs, you work on that, the abs will get better, right? If you practice mindfulness regularly, it doesn't have to be a massive long sitting practice. To be honest, my sitting practice is about 10 minutes every day, and sometimes it's really boring, but the ripple effects go far beyond those 10 minutes, so much so that I know it's so worth it. If nothing else, it builds up that muscle to be aware of yourself, aware the moment that you start going, oh, hang on, here she goes again, off on the loop about something, about her to-dos. I'm going to accept, and this is where the compassion comes in, because the other arm to mindfulness is not just being aware, it's also going, I'm going to offer that part of me some compassion, some love. When we do that, again, like I said before, it helps us to soften around it. So like I said, we're not fighting against ourselves. We don't want to do that. We are human. And if you are wired in the way like I am, we're prone to overthinking. And the sooner we accept that about ourselves, the more easily we can turn towards ourselves with compassion when we start to notice. And I think that's probably all I've got. I would really love to hear from you if there's anything that you find when you're stuck in overthinking mode, rumination mode. Is there anything I've missed? But overall, if you are stuck in overthinking right now, notice that you become aware of it. See if you can accept that it's there. I'm doing this because this is where I feel my overthinking is. Write stuff down if you need to. And then get into your body, do something, some kind of mindful movement. It doesn't need to be fancy. It could be a 10-minute yoga video, or it could be just going for a walk where you decide that you are going to focus on all the sensations in your body as you walk, the sights, the sounds, the smells, and so on. Okay. That's it from me. As I say, share anything in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Please like this video if you've enjoyed it. Maybe share it with somebody else. And if you're not yet subscribed, please do. If you would like more information and more support for your self-care at home, then you'd be welcome to join my membership, which will be linked below. And yeah, I really hope this was useful, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Take care for now.